All right, YouTube, how you doing? Just ran out of my water, so I'm gonna try my best to not need it while we do this live stream because you know me, I'm always drinking my water when we're doing these things. So I haven't been online for a while. It's just been a busy last couple of weeks, and in Southern California right now, we're experiencing 3 large fires. So things have been a little bit hectic. I just packed up all of my film gear. I'm ready to pack it up in my car and leave in case my home is endangered by the fire. We are on call right now. Anytime the fire department could be knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, get out! We're evacuating." So I'm prepared for that. But so far, everything seems to be okay in my area. So yeah, hopefully nothing bad happens. But I had to pack all of my stuff up, so I'm ready to head out. But anyway, beside the point, let's get on to the good news. I'm here doing a live stream with all of you guys, so please, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. Friday will be a very exciting day. I will be receiving the Jewin Crane 2, and also I have a new company that is called Master and Dynamic. They're a headphone company. Oh, Halvin Wolf, what's up, bro? How you doing? Stay safe, bro. You too, man. You're in Long Beach, so so hopefully you're okay in your area too. John, thank you for the kind wishes, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. But anyway, to what I was saying. Ice Cream says, "Don't forget the Mavic." Of course not, my friend. Don't worry, I won't forget about it. I think Friday I'm gonna announce the winner. For the Mavic accessories. But anyway, so Friday, what I'm expecting Friday to be coming in the mail. So we have the Jewin Crane 2 coming in for review. We also have this company called Master and Dynamic. This is a relatively new company. They're sending me headphones. I got these pair of headphones from a cool event hosted by my car company, Genesis. So I went into this, I don't know if you guys are following me on Instagram, but I posted about this. I went to an event hosted by Genesis. They handed out these headphones, and I gave them a try, and they sound so much better than my Sennheiser Momentums. Just these ones. These are on-ear headphones. Phenomenal quality. They're made out of aluminum. They're a little bit more expensive than Sennheiser. I mean, these pair cost about $300. This is the MH30 from Master and Dynamic. These are not wireless headphones. These are specifically meant for like those audiophiles. Like if you really want good quality sound, these are the headphones for you. So I'm getting the slightly larger ones on Friday. Those are the ones I'm going to be reviewing, the MH40s. I may even throw these into the review as well. These are the MH30. So the difference between the two, we have larger drivers on the MH40, which means you're going to get slightly more powerful sound. They're going to be over-the-ear headphones as well. So these are on the ear. Those are over the ear. For my ears are pretty big. So on-ear headphones, it kind of hurts my ears. So if you have smaller ears, this is the perfect set for you. But because I have big ears, I need the over-the-ear headphones. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't heard of Master and Dynamic, so far I've listened to Bose, Sennheiser, and Beats by Dre. These headphones destroy all of those companies. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, you need to go to Best Buy or wherever I don't know where they sell these. I think they sell these at Best Buy as well. You need to check out these headphones. No company produces these kinds of headphones, guys. Like, this is not even paint. This is anodized aluminum. Okay? No company does that besides Master and Dynamic. Okay? They're based in New York. So this is something phenomenal, and this is lambskin leather. So this is like as soft as if you just shaved your face. This is how soft this padding is. So it's unreal. So that's what I'm reviewing on. That's what I'm getting in on Friday. Getting 2 great packages, 2 amazing products, and yeah, I'm excited to show those to you guys. I might even do another live stream on Friday of just a little short unboxing of each product. We'll see how that goes. New World fan from India. What's up, India? Yeah, I have a lot of fans from India, so that's great. I love how there's such a big filmmaking community in India. It's phenomenal, actually. So it's great to have a fan from India here. Ice Cream says, I set up my Mavic to your recommended settings, and I see why you run it that way. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of I got a lot of criticism for that video, but in the long run, I feel like for my preferences on how I use drones, those are the settings that work for me the best. Miguel is asking how heavy these headphones are. I think they're about 300 grams, if I'm not mistaken. About 300 grams. That seems about right. So a little bit over half a pound. Or wait, does that sound right? 300 grams. Yeah, 300 grams. That's actually about less than half a pound, I believe, right? So there's 456 grams in a pound. So yeah, they're about half a pound, something about that. Not heavy. They're actually pretty light, in my opinion. And it's, guys, just the quality of these headphones, man. If you had the chance to just touch these things, you would feel why they're so expensive. You would understand why they're expensive. And I think they have a 10-year warranty on them as well. Don't quote me on that yet. I haven't read the warranty, but I think it's around 10 years. So no other headphone company does that. And here's the box. It comes in a really well packaged box. Like it's like luxury. This is like the Bugatti Veyron of all headphones. Seriously. Yeah, I think they have a really long warranty. I read somewhere it was 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're guaranteed to work for at least 10 years. So, man, it's yeah. So stay tuned for my full review of the MH40. It's the larger over-the-ear headphones. It's coming out soon. So yeah, yeah, they're guaranteed to last, I think, at least 10 years. Definitely, they're gonna last a lot longer than my Momentums, because I had another pair of Sennheiser Momentums that broke within a year and a half. Usually, my headphones, they don't last more than a year. So I had a wired version of the Sennheiser Momentums. They broke within about a year. And then I had Audio-Technica like white headphones that were starting to break, like the cable was starting to like break inside, and then eventually they were stolen. I left them at the gym and someone stole them, which was fine because they were getting disgusting anyways. And then I started using the Sennheiser Momentums. They haven't broke on me yet because they're wireless, and I was pretty happy with the sound. They're noise canceling. So these Master & Dynamics they're going to be used for work specifically. I'm not going to be using my Sennheiser for work anymore. These ones produce such rich sound, the MH30s, such rich sound. Like it's crispier than what you actually hear in real life. It's phenomenal how these are high dynamic range headphones. Like there's so many different elements of sound. There's highs, there's mids, and there's lows, and each one is so well separated in these headphones and so well enhanced. It's very difficult to explain. So stay tuned for my review video. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, and they're pretty comfortable. Again, as I said, if you have smaller ears, the on-ear headphones are just your thing. But I just wish you guys could actually touch the materials. It's so amazing. You guys would be surprised. Let me double check on the warranty. I feel like it's 10 years. I want to make sure that it is. Here we go. I'll tell you right now what the warranty is, because that's important. I don't want to be gloating about a product. But guys, like the sound is just so clean. Dave is asking how much better than Bose. Bose, honestly, I like Bose. I like the products they produce, but Bose and Beats, those are not professional headphones, guys. If you want professional audio gear, you gotta turn to either Sennheiser or now that I discovered Master & Dynamic. I mean, these are the headphones that you need to get. Stay away from like the generic brands. Like, I don't want to say this because I do love Bose and I love Dre Beats, but those are generic brands. Those are for the people that just, you know, want just expensive headphones that have decent sound. These headphones produce such phenomenal quality. Like, you need to have clear separation of highs, mids, and lows when you're listening to music. If there's no dynamic range there, then I'm not an audiophile, but I know good sound when I hear it. Let me turn off the heater here. It's getting pretty warm. How much do the headphones cost, and do you have a link? So the headphones, these are the MH30s. These cost $299. I'll go ahead and send the link over shortly. The MH40s cost $399, so they're $100 more. But honestly, when you're talking about audio quality and you want to hear the best audio quality, you're not going to use wireless headphones. You're going to use wired headphones. There's not going to be any latency, and you're going to get the best and clearest audio. Wireless headphones, it's kind of a gimmick because it's just a convenience factor. But you're losing out on audio quality if you have wireless headphones, believe it or not. A wired connection will always get you better quality than a wireless connection. All right, there's no latency here, so that's extremely important. You're never gonna go to a boom operator and see him or her using wireless headphones. It doesn't work. That's just not what it is. You cannot be using wireless headphones. There's also interference factors and all that other stuff. So, Eric says, I use the Sennheiser 280 HD Pros and have them. You've had them for almost 9 years. Wow, yeah, Sennheisers are great too. And I'll probably even do a comparison. But so far, listening to these MH30s, they're better than the Sennheiser Momentums. I have the Sennheiser Momentum 2.0 wireless Bluetooths. These sound better, like way better, shockingly better. And these are about the same price. So, I'm really like blown away by Master and Dynamic. You have no idea. Phenomenal, phenomenal brand. Too bad I didn't discover them earlier, because this is just, wow, I'm shocked. How do they compare to the 280 HD Pros? I don't know the 280 HD Pros. I'm going to have to look up the specs and compare the two. But let me, the warranty pulled up here. Let's see here. So craftsmanship of 2 years, and technical failure within 3 months of purchase, the wireless speaker will be replaced with a new unit. Okay. So 2-year warranty, which is similar to the Sennheisers, but they're basically they've been designed to last at least 10 years. I've read articles on that. Guys, these things are not going to break. They're just not. The way they're built. What other company uses anodized aluminum? No other company does. But 2-year warranty is good. But I read somewhere that they've actually been designed to last 10 years. But they just have a coverage of 2 years. But that's fine. That's a good warranty. 24 months. That beats 1 year. Most companies have 1-year warranties. So 24 months is double that. That's great. John said that I skipped his question. John, what was your question? Josh, do you recommend handheld DSLR stabilizers or a gimbal? Well, I'll tell you something right now. I answered this question before. Both have purposes in different types of shooting. As a traveling filmmaker, I go to a gimbal because it's easy to set up. Like the Jew crane, for example, I carry it around in my bag. I can't do that with a glide cam. I could go to Australia, Africa, wherever I want. I can just easily pull out the Jew crane. I don't even have to balance it perfectly, and it'll still work well. With the glide cam, for example, you have to pack it up, you have to disassemble it, you have to balance it. But don't forget that you're getting 2 different types of shots. A glide cam, a manual stabilizer, and a 3-axis stabilizer, they're completely 2 different styles. You're getting much more stability and much more, like, gimbals are made for stability. Glide cams, I feel like, are made for a little bit of stability and a little bit of creativity, in a sense that you can create different flowy shots. Like if you look at Devin Graham or Devin Supertramp's channel, you'll see what I'm talking about. glide cam footage is a little bit more flowy. A gimbal is more, you know, boom, stable, boom, stable, boom, stable. So it depends on what kind of artistic shot you're going after. It's all preference. So in my opinion, I use the Jewin crane, I use the glide cam. You know, I bought the Jewin crane, I bought my camera stabilizers that I use the manual ones, so I lately I've been using the Jewin crane, to be honest, because it's so compact and convenient for me. But yeah, I honestly, guys, I'll be honest with you, I haven't touched my manual stabilizers in months. I think a lot of people are forgetting about manual stabilizers and then going electric, which I think honestly is the right thing to do, especially if you are a traveling filmmaker. Literally, I have a little bag with my Sony A9, a 16-35 lens, my Jewin crane. Like, that's something you would never be able to, you would never be able to fit a glide cam in there. So, yeah, I mean, I think that I like gimbals more than manual Steadicams, to be honest. Especially that now, you know, Jewin Tech is going to start coming out with some cool new software, firmware. They're going to keep updating the firmware with new features. Like, it's hard to say, my friend, but lately I've been using the Jewin crane a lot. These gimbals are phenomenal. Like, I mean, you asked me that question and it confuses me because two different types of tools, my friend. Two different types of tools. If you owned both a gimbal and a glide cam, you would notice the difference in the style of shooting. But yeah, oh, man, that's such a tough question. You see, I can't even answer it, man. I gotta look at your question again. So, Josh, do you recommend handheld DSLR or gimbal? John, answer me this. Are you a beginner filmmaker? Are you a traveling filmmaker? What kind of shots are you going to be doing? Like, the Jewin crane has such a large convenience factor. So if convenience is a big part in what you're trying to achieve, like, Jewin crane, dude. Seriously, a gimbal is what you got to get for convenience. But is one more stable than the other? No. No. No, I just... There's a huge learning curve with the glide cam. Huge. But there's not as big a learning curve with a gimbal like the Jewin crane. Like, you want my opinion? You want my serious opinion? If I was, like, clinging on to dear life and I was to choose between a gimbal or a glide cam, gimbal. Gimbal. You would have to put me in that situation to make a decision, to be honest. But yes, I would go with the gimbal. Wow, that was really tough. That was really tough. Any good long-range lenses? Yes, my friend. 70 to 200 G Master 2.8. Or Sony also makes a 70 to 300. That's a 4.0, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. What would you choose for fashion professional camera? Sort of like a RED or a DSLR GH5 or 5D Mark II? So here's why I won't buy a RED. Okay, I will not buy a RED simply because it is a pain to set up. It is very expensive to maintain. It's very expensive to store footage. Very expensive. The SSDs, like it's just not a practical camera for me. I went with my Sony's, Sony A9, Sony A7S. Like, those are my main cameras. Those are my bays. Like, honestly, those are the cameras I'm working with. They're seamless with my crane gimbal. They work really well together. It's a light setup. It's not too heavy for me. We'll see how heavy the crane 2 is. I'm excited to see what that's going to be like. But yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. John says I do a lot of traveling. So, dude, get the crane. No question asked. Beginner, intermediate, get the crane. No question asked. Get the crane. Dave S. says, we need to clone you. One to do production, shooting tutorials, and the other to do editing tutorials. You know what happened? I shot an editing tutorial yesterday, and for some reason I had my Zoom microphone hooked up with HD sound. Everything sounded crystal clear. For some reason, my stupid computer recorded audio from the built-in mics on the computer, and I didn't hear it for some reason. So I had to trash the whole tutorial. So instead, I'm coming out with a different tutorial tomorrow morning. It's a really useful tutorial. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to redo the editing one. That one didn't come out well because the sound was just crap. So I'm going to have to redo that one. It happens, I understand. But I'll redo an editing. I'll do a really good editing tutorial for you guys. That'll be coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. John is asking, which gimbal do you have a link? Yes, so the Jew Crane, let me pull up a link for you. Give me a second here. Get a link for you. So while that loads, the internet's a little slow as usual. What do you recommend for music video editing? Brian, can you please rephrase that? I'm a little bit confused by that question. Dave S. is saying next day or two? No, not on that. Probably in the next week or two, my friend. I have new products coming in that I need to review. So probably in the next week or two. Yeah. Email me, though. If you have any specific things that you want me to cover, email me. info@capturethemomentum.com. All right, let me pull up this link here. So here's the link. I'm going to send you the link to the Jew Crane. This is the version 2. Check that out. Dave is saying, can you post the email? Yes, I'll post it right now. info@capturethemomentum.com. If you guys have any questions, you email me. If you have any immediate questions, you DM me on my Instagram at momentum_productions. Okay? DM me on Instagram. If you have any immediate questions, DM me. It's like having my personal cell phone number, okay? Cheap lights for beginners, mostly studio-based shoots. Yes, Newer. I need to review those lights for you. I've had these lights for October, November, for 3 months. I haven't reviewed them yet. But let me pull them out onto the link here. It's actually a very good deal. Let me get you, here it is. Wow, they went down in price. They went from $260 to $230. I paid $260 for mine. They went down to $230. Damn. Really good price. This is like a steal. So these are the Newer lights. Great deal. You get 2 LED panels, 600 LED beads, 95 CRI or color rendering index, which means it's a very high color accuracy. And it comes included with a carrying case and 2 C-stands or 2 light stands. John says, I should make an online course, brother. My brother told me the same thing. My blood brother, Jacob in San Francisco, he says I should make an online course. I just don't know how many people would watch it. I'm going to start a new poll on my community tab. I'll make a poll and see how many people would join in on the course. I wouldn't make it expensive either. I'd make it pretty affordable. So yeah, I've done it before on my website, but I had too many glitches and bugs, so I'm probably going to use a third-party software to help me out with that. So yeah, we'll see what that goes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'll consider it. Brian is saying, hey man, can you explain the effects of shutter speed on video mode, and does that have anything to do with the frame rate? Okay, very good question. Let me turn off the heater here. It's getting really hot. Damn. This remote. Very good question, Brian. Let's talk about frame rates and shutter speed. All right, my friends. So, does shutter speed affect the quality of the picture that you're getting? Okay, I'm gonna try and do this. Usually, I want to explain this using some sort of a diagram. There's a little bit of math involved, but I'm gonna try and help you visualize it. So basically, newer cameras, every camera that's made now has what is called an electronic shutter. And basically what this does, a shutter, man, it's really difficult for me to explain it without using a diagram, but here's a general rule of thumb with shutter speed. Let's say you're shooting at a frame rate of 30 frames per second. The general rule of thumb is to always double up the shutter speed. So if I'm shooting at 30 frames per second, you want to shoot at 1/60th shutter speed. You double up the frame rate in order to minimize motion blur. Okay. Now, let's say you're shooting at 60 frames per second. Again, use the doubling ratio. Okay, or doubling formula. So if you're shooting at 60 frames per second, you want to have a 1/120th second shutter speed. Okay, this is what's going to minimize that motion blur and minimize that motion sickness that some people might get from watching footage. It's going to I hate motion blur. I'm not a big fan of motion blur, especially unnecessary motion blur, and you're going to get a lot of unnecessary motion blur if your shutter speed is not set properly. Now, if your shutter speed drops below 30 frames per second, you're going to see very choppy footage. Very, very, very choppy footage. Yeah, I mean, that's the best way I can explain it. That's why I should probably teach an online class, because that way I can have a whiteboard and I'll actually draw out a diagram of how cameras used to look like and what a shutter speed is, what the shutter angle is, what is frame rate. Frame rate, it's a little bit easier to understand. It's basically how many pictures the video camera is taking per second. So that's easy to understand. Shutter speed is actually basically what shutter speed is. It's how quickly or how much light you are letting in to that actual frame of the shot. That's what shutter speed is. That depicts how much light you're letting into each shot, each specific frame. So the higher the shutter speed, you're going to be letting in less light. So a 1/120th shutter speed is going to get a lot less light than a 1/60th shutter speed. You're letting in less light into that specific frame. Now, how does this compare to aperture? Aperture is the physical mechanical function of the lens, the iris that opens up and that closes. That's the physical part, the mechanical part of the lens. Shutter speed is electronical. Frame rate is electronical. Okay? So I hope that kind of sheds some light on the topic for you. But again, if I had a diagram, I would show you exactly how the shutter works, what its actual function is, and all that stuff. So. Brian is asking, and do you still shoot on Canon? Can you tell us how to adjust every setting like ISO, aperture, shutter speed on manual mode? I no longer shoot on Canon, my friend. I sold my XF305, my X810, and my 5D Mark II. They're all long gone. But surprisingly, though, I did a poll on my channel, and Canon is still the top shooter. People people still use Canon as their choice of camera. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? So I'm kind of shocked. I thought Sony was going to smoke everybody, but no. Sony came in second place. Panasonic came in third. Then came Nikon, and then Red. So if I remember correctly. So that's, yeah. John is asking if I have Super Chat. Yes, I do, my friend. That little $ icon under the comment section, if you press that, that's the Super Chat. and that will send me a donation. So I would be forever grateful for that donation, my friend. Thank you so much. But yeah. Any more questions, my friends? Any more questions? By the way, I'm releasing a new tutorial on the Jew crane tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for that. That'll be an exciting video. I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff there. So, yeah. Dave S. is saying, know what's awesome about your live streams and tutorials is your explanation and the pure love of our craft. Aw, dude, thank you so much. I like really getting it down and dirty into the detail. Not only just like on the artistic side of things, but I like getting down into the actual engineering of specific products. Like when I was reviewing the Jew crane, I went down to the nitty-gritty stuff, like to the materials, to the encoders, to the firmware, to the applications. So I like getting down to that stuff because I feel like even though a lot of people are not tech savvy, they still appreciate seeing it because they learn. So I really appreciate you saying that, Dave. That made my night. Thank you very much. Brian is asking, what do you use to edit? I use Final Cut Pro 10. Final Cut Pro 10. That's what I use. Any more questions, guys? Also, guys, if you would like to donate to this channel, there's a little super chat icon. That's that little $ icon. You can click on it. It'll make a small donation to this YouTube channel. All donations go towards getting new products for reviewing. Also, if you cannot donate at this time, simply by sharing my channel with your friends, family, or anyone who's interested in filmmaking, that will go a long way. Shares go a very long way for this channel. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. So if you can, please share this channel with your friends and family. Brian is asking, why don't you use Adobe Premiere Pro? I know how to use it, but Final Cut is faster and more user-friendly. So that's why I use Final Cut Pro. I mean, if someone sat me down with Adobe Premiere, I could work it. But I have more fun with Final Cut, to be honest. And it's a lot faster than Adobe Premiere. A lot faster. Like, rendering is so fast on Final Cut. It's nuts. And playback is slightly better too, to be honest. Yeah. Dave is asking, will you be doing Final Cut Pro 10 tutorials? Yes, I have done already a few, specifically on color grading. I've done another one on editing a client video, Ingrid Romero, who is a world famous fitness model. Yeah, I did a shoot with her. And this, I think, this was like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago. So check it out. Just type in, go to my channel, go to my videos tab, type in Ingrid Romero. You're going to see a link to, I think, a 30-minute tutorial video on how I did the editing for one of her videos. So check that out and let me know what you think. Yeah, good question. Any more questions, guys? Any more? Oh, my neck. Very stressful couple weeks, guys. Very stressful, very busy. Good stress, though. Good stress. Motivational stress. Brian is saying, Peter McKinnon uses a 1DX Mark II. That's a Canon DSLR, for those of you who are wondering. He uses that camera for vlogging. Do you think it's overkill, or vlogging will evolve to a point where it would be a standard to use such cameras for vlogging? Definitely overkill. 1DX Mark II. That's a $5,000, almost $6,000 camera. That's overkill. That's overkill. People like iJustine. iJustine is a very good vlogger. I don't know if you guys know her, but she uses a Canon G7X. That's all you really need. It's a little point and shoot. You can use RX100. RX100 is the prime vlogging camera. RX100 Mark V, I think the Mark VI is coming out. Maybe it's already out, but RX100, mwah. If I'm going to get a vlogging camera, that would be it. Currently, I'm using my GH4 as a vlogging camera, and I hate it because the autofocus is awful on that thing. Brian says, I think it's because you have a MacBook. He's asking why I use Final Cut, and I responded with because it's so fast. But no, I don't think it has anything to do with Mac. Adobe is also very fond of Mac, so I would want them to have something that's faster than Final Cut for me to switch over. Brian says, it seems like a good workout, though, carrying a camera like that almost everywhere. It's a good workout, but it's going to hurt. I would rather shoot on a RX 100 than a 1DX Mark II. And on top of that, if you're vlogging yourself like this, you're going to eventually drop that camera. Like, look at Casey Neistat. Look how many cameras he broke. He has a whole wall of drones and cameras that he broke from vlogging. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more difficult to break the RX 100 because it's so much lighter and smaller. You can just put it in your pocket when you're not using it. A 1DX Mark II, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't just put it in your pocket. Even though 1DX Mark II is a great freaking camera, just not for vlogging. No, not for vlogging. Peter does it because he can. Honestly, you're not going to notice a big difference in picture quality on YouTube between the RX 100 and the 1DX Mark II. That's my opinion because YouTube compresses videos like crazy. So the only real place you'll probably find a slight difference, if any, is going to be on Vimeo because the compression is not as high. So if anything, you'll see a difference on there. Honestly, the internet itself uploading stuff, there's going to be some form of compression. So whatever we upload to YouTube, whatever we upload to Vimeo, it's not going to be the same as what we see on our computers before uploading. You have to remember that. So comparison videos are, between cameras, it's very difficult because one camera, it might seem like one camera has more noise than the other one, but it could be just compression. So yeah, sometimes you gotta take comparison videos between camera footages like a little bit like grain of salt, Vimeo is the place to go to see real camera comparisons between one footage and the other. A lot less compression than YouTube. So you're gonna see a lot better results on Vimeo. Do you shoot 4K regularly? 50-50 between 1080p and 4K. Sometimes I just don't want to deal with the overheating on the Sonys, so I switch to 1080p. Sometimes I want super slow motion, so I switch to 1080p. When I want that cinematic and the option to, when I want that cinematic look and the option to zoom in, I will shoot on 4K. So it's about 50-50. Driftaholic Productions. Sup, man? What's up, dude? Brian is saying, thoughts on YouTubers using a red for YouTube videos like Devin Supertramp and MKBHD. I don't know who MKBHD is. I know Devin Supertramp, but listen, Devin Supertramp, I'll tell you the reason why he uses a red weapon, red helium. He doesn't use it for YouTube. He uses it so he can sell the footage to stock agencies. So there's agencies all over the globe that buy stock footage. That's where Devin makes a large portion of his income. He sells his footage to stock agencies. And they have specific requirements for these stock footages. So a red camera gives Devin those requirements. So that's why he shoots on a red. He doesn't do it because he can. He does it because his work requires it. So that's why Devin shoots on a red. I actually had a chance to talk to him in 2015. We met up at a convention together. And I got to pick his brain for about 30 minutes. So he's a really sweet guy. It's unfortunate that it isn't like LA too much because it's too crazy and busy, but I understand that. I think he lives in Hawaii now. How how do you get 4K into Final Cut Pro 7? I have no idea. I don't use Final Cut Pro 7. It's not even compatible with my Mac. Driftaholic Productions. I think Brain is right that Final Cut is more compatible with Apple computers because you can only use Final Cut with Apple. I don't think so. Look into the coding. The guy who wrote Final Cut Pro software also did a lot of Adobe's software. So they're very similar, honestly, in the way they work. Dave S. is asking, how do you import 4K footage into Final Cut Pro 10? You just import it. That's what I do. Unless you're shooting with a RED and you're trying to import raw footage, then yes, you do need to create proxy files. Do I have a RED? No. Can I demonstrate to you how I import proxies? I can't because I don't know how. I don't work with proxy files. Just being honest with you guys, I don't work with proxies. I work with whatever the camera gives me. And plus, I don't have time to work with proxies and then right before rendering, relink all the proxies to the raw files. Like, that's a nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare. And then there's always a chance of you not properly linking one proxy to the right raw file, and then you're going to have the whole timeline out of order. Like, it's a nightmare, guys. Like, that's why I'm not dealing with RED cameras at the moment. If I had a team a specified person to do editing, a specified person to do color grading, like, then yeah, I would consider getting a RED. But on my own, I would never do that because there's just so much you have to do for a RED camera. Anath, how Steadicam works? Can you be more descriptive? It's a little bit of a vague question, Anath. Anath? How do you pronounce your name? Please let me know. Brian, now I know why YouTube filmmakers have large biceps. I mean, they all have one thing in common: super heavy cameras. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Devin is strong, man. I saw him in 2015. He's strong. Like, I see the way he loads up his glide cam with all these counterweights and the RED and a heavy Canon L series lens. Like, guys, that's like a 15-pound setup, and he's running around with it like it's no problem. He's running around in sandals and flip-flops. He's not even using tennis shoes. Like, the dude, I don't know how he does it. For me, it's even tough. Like, it's for me to load up 15 pounds on a glide cam and run around in sandals. I can't even run in sandals, so I have no idea how he does it. And on top of that, he climbs rocks in sandals with that setup. With a $50,000 setup, he climbs rocks. And while climbing those rocks, he's shooting. He must be very well insured. I'm sure he is. Have I ever broken a stabilizer due to a heavy setup? Never. Are we talking about gimbals? Gimbals are very, very safe because most of them have encoders, computers that monitor the weight. And if one motor is overloaded, it'll just boom, shut off. Driftaholic says, what camera do you use? So I have 3 different cameras. Currently I shoot with a Sony A9, Sony A7S, and Panasonic GH4, which is honestly just collecting dust. I need to sell that camera. I'd probably sell that camera and get an RX100 from Sony. Yeah, GH4 is like a useless camera for me now. I need to sell it. Who wants to buy my GH4? $900 with a lens and a bunch of batteries. Who wants it? $900, it's yours. Ever think about buying a 4K TV? Hell yeah, dude. Once I have a big enough wall that can fit, like, the only 4K TV I would ever buy is at least a 60-inch or like a 72-inch or something like that. Never buy a small 4K TV. That just defeats the purpose. You're not going to tell the difference in resolution. You need a huge 4K TV. Yeah. Good questions, guys. I'm loving this live stream. This is great. Even though Los Angeles is on fire, I'm still having a good time. Literally, guys, if you go on Google and you type in Los Angeles fire, it's bad. It's really, really bad. And on top of that, we have 50-mile-per-hour winds. Like, this is hurricane, like, firestorm type stuff. What? Halvin Wolf says he saw a 75-inch 4K for $850. Wow. Dave says 405 is nuts. Dave, you live in LA? Let me know if you live in LA, bro. Let me know. We're neighbors, man. If you live in LA, we're neighbors. I live on a big hill, so all the smoke is coming towards me. Yeah. Yeah, I live in a big hill. I actually can see the fiery glow. If I look out over the backyard, I can see like the glowing of the fire. Oh, wow. Dave says he used to. Oh, Sherman Oaks, man. That's about 20 minutes away from me. Nice, man. I like Sherman Oaks. It's a big Russian community over there. I know a lot of Russians. I'm Russian. Both my parents are Russian, so Sherman Oaks has a very large Russian community. A few of my friends live out there. Anant is asking, how do you get super smooth shots on a stabilizer? My friend, I made like 40 videos, 40 tutorial videos on how to do that. On either a glide cam or the Tech crane. I made so many tutorials. You gotta try it out. Go to my videos tab and search for it, or go to my playlist tab on my channel and look for it. It's so packed with so many videos. Chiftaholic Productions, what do you think about the Sony a6000? I don't know too much about it, to be honest. I only follow the a6300 and the a6500. So far, I love the a6500. The only reason why I'm not buying it is because I love full frame cameras. I'm never gonna go back to a cropped sensor camera. GH4, GH5 out of the option, out of my head. I'm never gonna buy that camera. Simply because of the low light, the depth of field. I mean, I love full frame cameras, and I don't think I'll ever be looking back at smaller sensor cameras. That's just my preference. So yeah, and the footage I get out of my Sony A9, I mean, that's a 4K camera. It's actually a 6K camera, down-res to 4K. That's actually one feature that the A7R3 does not have. It's 4K 4K, mine is 6K 4K, Sony A9. So you're actually going to get sharper footage out of the Sony A9 than you are the Sony A7R3, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know that, but it's true. You're going to get sharper footage out of the A9 than the A7R3. Don't tell anybody I told you that, because they're going to get mad at me. People are going to be like, why did I spend almost $3,000 on the A7R3? It's still a great camera, don't get me wrong. I mean, it has very high resolution photos, but... Anant is asking, how do you shoot running sequences? Bro, I have videos on it. I got videos on it, my friend. I have one specifically for manual stabilizers and one for the Jew crane. Been there, done that, bro. You got to check out my videos, man. I have over 350 tutorials on my YouTube channel. You got to check it out. Any more questions, guys? We're going on 49 minutes. This is great. Any more questions? Is that it? Really? Is that it? Was it really that easy? Dave is asking, are you at Parkway Calabasas? Unfortunately, my friend, due to privacy issues, I cannot disclose where I'm at. I've had a few scares in the past, but I can't really disclose where I'm at. Am I close to Calabasas? Yeah. So I'm in the area, but I can't disclose any more than that. Alvin Wolf is asking, would you ever consider doing some mashup videos of your older tutorials for some of your new followers? I don't know, man. I already have. Maybe I just got to create new playlists. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do a mashup. I want to focus on new content rather than old content. What's your export settings on Premiere? Again, I don't use Premiere, but yeah. Ananth is saying, how can we use lighting at nighttime scenes? That's a video that I have not done yet. Lighting at night. Ananth, that tutorial, my friend, is coming. It's coming. So stay tuned for that. That's not something I can really answer on this live stream. I have to demonstrate it for you. JJ's Adventure and other stuff. Have you done anything on good B-roll collection? Are you talking about like a tutorial on B-roll collection? Ananth is asking, when will I release the video of how to light up a nighttime scene? 3 weeks. About 3 weeks. What else can we answer here, guys? Any more questions? Techniques for B-roll and slow-mo and all that other stuff. So I'm actually releasing a tutorial tomorrow morning that's going to cover a little bit about B-roll. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. I'm releasing it at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you watch that video because I will be releasing a very important video tomorrow morning. Ananth, are you Indian? Do you think I'm Indian? I'm not. I'm Russian. Dave is asking, ever work with quads, 2-inch tape? Probably not. Nope, I haven't. Halvin Wolf says, love B-roll tips. All right, bro. So stay tuned for tomorrow. Halvin Wolf recently bought a Juentech. You bought a Smooth Q, I believe, right? So tomorrow's video will be pretty relevant to you then. It will be pretty relevant. Yeah. Any more questions, guys? Or is that it? Alvin Wolf says, I want to get the Smooth 3. Maybe I'll get a chance to get my hands on one too. Smooth 3, I think, has a heavier payload. But yeah. JJ's Adventure and other stuff. Audio's pros and cons. I think you meant to say audio, right? When recording audio, I strongly recommend that you always use a recorder. The quality of sound you're going to get is going to be so much better than just directing the feed into the camera. Alright, I always use my Zoom recorder to record audio. Whenever I hook up my lavalier mics, my boom mics, I always feed it into my Zoom. And good thing to do is whenever you're recording audio separately than you do your video, which is what you should always be doing in my opinion, Obviously, there's some instances when you can't, and I understand that. Sometimes I'm a one-man show on a shoot, and I have to run the audio, like the Rob Riches videos. I have to run the audio directly into the camera. I can't carry a recorder all in a gimbal and all that stuff, so I can't do all that. That's why I use expensive microphones, so I can depend on that for capturing good audio stuff. But whenever you can, shoot with a recorder. How are you syncing it? Very good question, my friends. So, simple tip, okay? We have to spike the audio. So whenever you're syncing your camera's audio to the separately recorded audio, you look for the waveforms. You look where it spikes and where it caves. So that's why whenever I start recording on both the camera, and the recorder, I clap my hands as loud as I can and make sure that both the camera and the separated mic pick up that clap. That way when you go into editing, you can easily sync up the waveforms to that spike. And once that's synced up, you're good to go. That's it. JJ's Adventure says you can also, yeah, obviously you can also use a clapper, but if you're a one-man show like me, you're not going to carry a clapper around with you. There is auto sync software. There is this company called Red Giant. They make software called Plural Eyes. That also is a very excellent software. I gave that a shot and I loved it. So yeah, that's another software. It's specifically good for multicam editing. We have multiple cameras, sometimes syncing. I've done manual syncing for 7 cameras before, and that took me a couple hours to do. And then I tested it out on Plural Eyes, and it did it within about 30 seconds. So a couple hours, 30 seconds, pretty good trade-off there. Yeah. Any more questions, guys? This was a great live stream. Very happy we did this. Alright guys, we're going to finish the live stream with one last question. Then I'm going to head to bed. Hopefully the fire will be at least 50% contained by the time I wake up. Again, I packed all my belongings, at least most of them. And by most of them I mean my by most of them I mean my filmmaking gear, because that to me is my most precious possessions. And my guitars as well. I have 2 guitars that I packed up. My trombone. Clothes, I really don't care too much about clothes, but my filmmaking gear has like sentimental value because I can tell stories, I can do a lot of things with my filmmaking gear, which is why that's like my priority. If a natural disaster happens, I gotta take my filmmaking gear with me. JJ's Adventure and other stuff. Have you looked at vlogging, you know, to add to your channel? Listen, I love vlogging. The issue is that I don't have enough subscribers to start a vlogging channel just yet. I don't want my views to be 100 views, 200 views per video. People come to my channel to learn. I don't really think they come to my channel for vlogging. I've tried vlogging for a little bit, and the views were just so bad and so low. Maybe when I hit 50,000 subscribers, I'll give vlogging another shot. But I don't think that's what my viewers want, to be honest. Ananth, when are you doing a feature film? Not for a while, man. Currently, I'm just working with clients and producing videos for them. I did shoot a car commercial recently for a company called Rizvani. That was fun. But feature films, not in the near future, my friend. Not in the near future. Alright guys, well that will wrap up today's live stream. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, again, you can email me info@capturethemomentum.com. I'll also leave this live stream online so you can check it out and comment with any questions. And also add me on Instagram. DM me with any questions. Again, that's like having my personal cell number. Also, feel free to throw me a super chat. That's like a small donation to the channel, helps me purchase new equipment for review. Or if you cannot donate at this time, please, 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 please share the link to my channel with your friends, family, or anyone else that's interested in filmmaking. My dream is to have this channel be the biggest filmmaking platform or the biggest filmmaking channel up on YouTube. So I want to build this community, make it big. We've done a phenomenal job so far. We surpassed 25,000 subscribers. That's a great milestone. Next milestone is 50,000. So let's keep it up, 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 up. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. And I will talk to you soon. Stay tuned for Friday. Maybe I'll do a live stream of maybe a short unboxing of the Crane 2 and the Master and Dynamic headphones. Anantha is asking when will I be back. Probably Friday. Tomorrow morning I'm releasing a new tutorial video, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.